Hello everybody, my name is Athena Waddell, and for my Section 4 book, I selected The Fault in Our Stars, written by John Green. So there really is only like a handful of characters in the book, but the only characters I'm really going to talk about today, just for the sake of timing, are going to be Hazel Lancaster, or Hazel Grace Lancaster, and Augustus Waters. These are two teenage cancer patients. Hazel actually met Augustus in a support group that her mother made her attend. Her mother was very worried about her, and didn't necessarily know how to help her because, her mother's not suffering from a terminal illness such as thyroid cancer. So there's just certain things that she can't necessarily relate to her daughter on or help her daughter with. So her mother put her in a support group, and that is where she met Augustus Waters. While in this support group, they kind of bond over their mutual love for an imperial affliction. Sorry, the words are failing me right now, but they bond over their love for an imperial affliction, which is a fictional book written by a fictional author inside of John Green's book. So Hazel and Augustus obsess over this book. It's really kind of I don't want to say the foundation of their love, but it really is a very big token of their love, a very big symbol of their love, and a very big part of the book. It really gets the book. I would say it's the catalyst of the book. The book gets them to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is where we find out that Augustus is sick again. Eventually, Augustus passes away, and we get to see their love really kind of develop over the course of the book, but it's not really until they follow their dreams to go out to Amsterdam to get closure on an imperial affliction. It's not until they go to get their closure out in Amsterdam from their beloved book until the book really starts getting, haunting, sad, somber, melancholy, any synonym you want to apply to it. This is not a lighthearted book at all. But like I said, Augustus develops cancer. They go to Amsterdam. The big resolution is not happy. If that's what you're looking for me to give you in this summary, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. The end of the book, what it essentially comes down to is Hazel accepting her life for what it is, and you kind of get one good thing at the end of the book. Even in Augustus's death, he takes care of Hazel. He writes letters that were meant to be sent out after his death that ensured that Hazel had her own closure, and so she wasn't living in a permanent imperial affliction. He definitely made sure that when he left a very sad and somber mark, but there was an underlying tone of closure that John Green gave because Augustus gave Hazel that closure. So while it was a very sad book, I think that because Augustus gave Hazel that closure, John Green kind of gave us as the audience that closure. I would say that while it was gut-punching, heart-wrenching, whatever you want to apply to it, while I would say all of those things about the book, I would also say that the sadness served a purpose. Because I've read books that are just sad to be sad, and I'm sitting there crying, and I'm wondering why I can't shut the book, and I'm wondering who hurt the author. But I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that's how this book felt. This book, if I could describe it, wrap it up in one word, it would be sad with purpose. So there really are no visuals. This is, like I said, I think I already touched base on this, but it's a high school level book. This isn't a picture book. There are no visuals. The title, the cover page is just a simple blue. It has a white cloud and a black cloud, but there's nothing really, and some background like doodling of words, but there's nothing really revolutionary about the cover. There's nothing very complex or intricate or worthwhile about the artwork. A third grader could have drawn the clouds. I'm not being, I don't want to make it seem like I didn't like the book. I did like the book. It's just a really simple blue cover. As for the genre, this is for sure a young adult, like I said, and I would put it in romance. So obviously fiction, but I would put this in romance. I wouldn't necessarily put it in, you know, maybe it's not romance that in an adult sense, obviously, because this is a young adult fiction book, but for teenage PG-13 level, there's a little bit of kissing. It definitely revolves around a relationship, so I would put it as a young adult romance fiction novel. So for strengths and weaknesses of this book, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the weaknesses. I'm not necessarily very conservative with my thoughts, so I don't hold much power behind these words. That being said, I do know that we're working with parents, and you have to be cognizant of the fact that not everybody has your belief system. So some parents may think this book is inappropriate. Talking about death, it does have, you know, some mature themes inside of it, and it has a few cuss words, so those are some weaknesses. It's not very parent friendly. Some strengths are, I mean, it was written phenomenally for a young adult book. It has very complex themes, which I think are very important to touch base on. I think that teenagers also love angst, and this book had angst, which brings me to the most angsty quote in the book, which was also my favorite, and I used it in my essay. She walks lightly, old man. She walks lightly upon the earth. I can't even be angsty and do it. She walks lightly upon the earth. Hazel knows the truth. We're as likely to hurt the universe as we are to help it. And we're not likely to do either. So yeah, that's very teenage angst. Like, are you kidding me? And while the teenage angst was a little cringy to read at 25, I would have ate that up at 15. I mean, if you served that to me on a platter, I would have asked for, not even seconds, I would have asked for thirds and a dessert. I don't know, some about teenage angst, you know? Like I said, in terms of age and grade level appropriateness, high school, all the way. I think that a middle schooler could cognitively read this book. I just don't know if maybe a naughty little, crazy little, hormonal little preteen person should read a romance book ever. So I would rank it at 9th through 12th grade. It's an appropriate book, but it borders on disappropriate, not appropriate. It borders. As for classroom activity, I mean, call me lazy, call me corny, call me cliche. We're watching the movie. We're watching the movie. Come on, y'all. I've never seen the movie. Prior to writing this essay, I had never read the book. This wasn't romance wasn't my cup of tea. It's not what I was reading. But I mean, it was a pretty decent book. So I mean, I figured it'd be a pretty decent movie, and I follow John Green on TikTok. So, and his brother. So we're watching the movie. I could probably sit here and tell you like a million and one like other curriculum-based activities. We can do writing prompts. We can do exit tickets. We can do comprehension checks. But if I'm being candid, we're watching the movie. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a great semester. Good luck on your finals.